Well, let's get organized. What is an algaecide? What are all these other things? Let's just say you move into a house and you've got all this stuff in your shed, or you go to the store and you see all these products. So we're going to just go over some. First, we're going to separate all this stuff out. I'll read it. We'll separate it from right to left. We're going to put algaecides on the right. What's not an algaecide, but pool care on the left. So you've got, let's see, Pool RX, I've heard of that. Algaecide. That funny looking thing, you have to read it, but that is a pool frog. Algaecide. Blu-ray, this is a cheap knockoff of the Pool RX, but it's a good one. Shock, where does that go? That's just chlorine, so it's an algaecide. Solar pill, this is actually to stop evaporation. Phosphate remover. Enzymes on the left. Enzyme water cleaner on the left. 4-month algaecide says it right there. Chattison clarifier and enzyme on the left. PR10,000 phosphate remover on the left. Yellow treat algaecide on the right. Swim treen on the right. Algaecide 60 on the right. So now let's break it down a little bit. What you need, this is if you have a problem, you can treat a problem. If you don't want to have a problem, you can try to fix things before it happens. So we'll just eliminate this guy. That's just a fun little thing that stops the evaporation. But when you open your pool, what you want to do is you want to get the organics out. Chlorine, which is your best algaecide, right? So you've got a gallon of chlorine. There's your algaecide. Side means killer. So this is let's put killer in and add some more killer. Oh, I'm having some problems. Let's find another killer. Oh, I just can't figure out all my problems, so I'm going for the hardball here, and I'm going to get this killer. But if you play your cards right, this is your algaecide, a gallon of chlorine. You want your phosphate, when you open your pool especially, or in the summertime when the kids are all swimming, let's say they're peeing in the pool. Let's say they're not. Fine, your kids don't pee in the pool, but some kids do. What they do is they should have some sunscreen on. The sunscreen's clogging up the filter. Just the body skin, just the body fluids clogging up the filter. So enzymes remove, it gets rid of organics. Chlorine likes to kill, is a sanitizer, but it's not a great oxidizer. This is your oxidizer, is you're going to, and Orenda is a great formula. So it gets rid of non-living organics. CV700 is phosphate remover and enzyme for once everything's treated, but your initial treat, you want to just get rid of the organics and the oils. This will help your scum line around the pool, the buildup and all that stuff on your tile. It's got the proper dosing. You want to dose it hard when you open it or after a big pool party. You want to get the phosphates down. Phosphate test kits, don't test all the phosphates. You may say, oh, look, there's no phosphates. But if you have algae, you probably have some form of phosphates in there because it's what it's feeding off of. So hit it hard the first time, clean the filter, and then you can get into a weekly dose. Phos-free is got some, this is natural chemistry. They like to put out some weekly dose stuff. You just put a cap full into the skimmer. You run that every week. This is a clarifier and an enzyme. So this is getting your pool ready. This is the initial fight. This is allowing the chlorine to work. But if that's not working, this is everywhere. Everyone says shock your pool. That's what the chlorine does, is it shocks the pool. You see pool shock. Ingredients, sodium dichlor. Dichlor is a chlorine. Trichlor, if it says trichlor, it's a chlorine. So the dichlor is fast dissolving, good for your vinyl pools, dissolves real fast. But the trichlor is like the chlorine tablets. They take longer to dissolve, so you don't want to throw it directly in your pool. This stuff, it's really good to dissolve it first if you have the trichlor. But if you're looking for shock that's not, you want a non-chlorine shock also. That'll get rid of organics like your enzymes do. So when you run into algaecide 60, it's got polyethylene. So this is going to kill, it says for 60 days. So it's a good treatment. It hits it hard. And this is, if you see some algae, you can get rid of it. It doesn't leave as much of a residual. These other algaecides, you're going to see swimtrine, kills green and mustard algae. So this is a copper mix. Copper is a great algaecide. Silvertrine is a great algaecide, but that's a lot more expensive. So we'll have the copper here. You've got yellow treat. This is anything that says sodium bromide. You're actually creating a bromide pool. So a little bit of bromide and the chlorine. Pool Perfect is a bromide. 4-month algaecide. 4 month means it has something to hold it into the water, a bonding agent. But this is also copper. Copper with some kind of bonding agent to hold it in the water. The Pool RX eliminates all algae, reduces chemical demand. So when you're using any one of these products, these have everything you need. It's got zinc, it's got silver, it's got copper, and it's got the agent that holds it into the pool. So these actually last up to 6 months. And you can use them on a green clean. You got a nasty old green pool, shock it, read the directions, drop that in there. In a couple days, it's clean. You didn't have to do any work. But it won't last 6 months after that. And you got to look. Everything is 7.5 thousand gallons to 20,000 gallons. Don't drop this in a 50,000 gallon pool. They have a black one made just for that. Pool Frog. So this goes in your skimmer. It's got a little copper rod in there that's got an agent that the chemicals all go into the pool. And as it runs around and goes over this impregnated copper rod, it reacts to it and it reworks it. So this is the same thing. It's got minerals inside. Drop it into the skimmer, and this will, as the water's running over it, does the same thing. Blu-ray, I like Blu-ray. It's got it doesn't have the little plastic container. So you drop the rod in the skimmer and the minerals are on the side. And in 6 months, you can retreat these leave the copper rod in there for one more 6 month period and just put a new treatment in there. What you get with these is you get the ability, it doesn't matter how high the phosphates are, it just won't let the algae grow. So long as it has to have the chlorine residual with it. So that's your easy first choice as a new pool owner. You kind of end up with these things. But as you get better and you want a cleaner pool, none of this leaves a residual in your pool. This all gets rid of residual in your pool. These will all build up over time and leave problems in your pool down the road. So it's best to try and start with this, use these in an emergency, and then figure out what happened. Move back to this way, all right? And then do your dosing on your chlorine. If you're having problems, go out there twice, maybe 3 times a week. Because if you're doing it once a week, half the time, if you're having problems, you're actually probably doing it every other week. Go to Happy Pools, sign up, and we'll get you on a scheduler, and it'll allow you to, it'll remind you, and you'll actually have to press it to stop reminding you. And that will get you out there. And that will take care of your pool. All right, have a happy pool.